Ronaldo is returning to Manchester United and returning to the Premier League. Owen Hargreave, Miguel Delaney and Tim Sherwood here with me to discuss what has been a sensational day in terms of this transfer window. What is your reaction to this? We found out just moments ago, Owen, that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be back in a Manchester United shirt.
Yeah, to be fair, that's where he belongs. I mean, that is, to be fair, he was one of the greatest players I've ever seen. His talent is off the charts, but his work ethic and his dedication is even better. So I know he's 36, but Cristiano Ronaldo has every chance to be the best player in the Premier League this season. And for Manchester United fans, nothing better could have happened, because I don't think anybody could have envisioned him in the blue shirt across in Manchester. So for United, it's a huge coup, and it is one for the Premier League as well.
This is, of course, subject to medical terms, to personal terms, to everything else alongside what goes into a transfer, all being done, and especially in these times we're living in, Tim, travel restrictions as well. But if everything is all agreed, we will see Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players, not just in Premier League history, but of all time, going back to the club where the fans adore him so much.
Yeah, more importantly for us, we're spoilt in the Premier League already, aren't we? To have a sensational player like Cristiano Ronaldo, albeit at the latter stages of his career. Like Owen said, I still think he's got a lot to offer. It's brilliant for the Premier League. It's such a coup for the organisation. I think it's a great move. The emotions of them Manchester United fans waking up this morning, seeing him in a blue shirt all over Twitter and wherever you want to see it, and the Man City, the emotions must have been, oh, surely this cannot be happening. And then for the turnaround in such quick time, I think George Mendes has done a great job there. I think he's flushed out Man United, by touting with Man City, flirting with them. But was he ever going to go there? I mean, Owen knows him better than all of us. I don't think he was ever going to go to Man City. I think he wanted Manchester United to come to the party, and it looks like they've done that.
Miguel, how's your day been as a journalist?
Busy. I'm the last 48 hours. I mean, just as Tim's alluding to there, yesterday there was a deal done between Ronaldo's agent and Manchester, or at least the basics that they could make it happen. But, you know, as Tim's alluded to, a lot of people around United did feel this is an attempt to basically bring them to the table. That's what he wanted most. And negotiations went badly between Juventus and Manchester City yesterday. And there is the question, if it didn't look like he was going to go to City, would it have meant that United didn't come in? But that's all moot. He's back at Old Trafford. And it's probably that much sweeter for Manchester United fans, actually, that they came so close to a nightmare to now this dream return.
Well, we've been waiting throughout the afternoon on some kind of confirmed news, and literally about 5 minutes before this programme started, Manchester United tweeted this, which we believe to be pretty much official confirmation here that Cristiano Ronaldo will indeed be going home. Owen, how does it feel to have him home?
Well, I think the first time he came, not many people knew who he was. And I think now when he walks into that dressing room, all the boys are going to look up in awe. But eventually they're going to have to put that aside, because he's come in there as the oldest player probably in the dressing room, and he's going to lead that group. And I think as a mentor for Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford and Martial and all those great young players, they couldn't have a better one. And everybody talks about Cristiano Ronaldo's ability, and it's he's almost created to play football with his side and his speed. But his dedication to his craft is up there. I've never seen anybody as dedicated to football. So I know he's 36, but when the boys see him work day to day, they're going to be blown away, and it's going to improve those boys that much more. And I think the pressure is now on slightly to go and win the Premier League. That is a fabulous group of players, and Ronaldo is the icing on the cake. You
know him personally. Earlier on, when there were rumours of him potentially joining Manchester City, and there were Manchester United fans questioning his loyalty to Manchester United, was there any part of you that thought that could be a possibility, that he would have gone to City?
You know what? Cristiano Ronaldo is a winner, and the best opportunity to win anything is to play for Manchester City. So if he wanted to win the Champions League or the Premier League, I could see that. I know it would upset a lot of people, but if you've never been in that competitive environment as a player, like, Tim's been there, I've been there, you want to compete, and Manchester City gives you that best opportunity. So I think he would have looked at that and realised they give me a chance. I think his heart is at United, and I'm glad he's gone there. But how many goals did he get last year? I mean, you see his numbers there. I mean, it's
12 seasons in a row, 20 goals.
He's got 46 last season in all comps. I know he's 36, but 46 goals is pretty much more than anyone. So I think he could guarantee you at least 30 goals. And he could finish as top scorer in the Premier League. And he's hungry. And he wants to prove a point. He doesn't want Messi to win the Champions League over at PSG. So I think there's so many angles to this that are going to work in his favour and Man United's favour.
5-time Ballon d'Or winner. We saw the numbers there, Tim.
Yeah.
783 career goals. It's outstanding.
You have to check them, see if they're correct. I mean, we know they are, but, you know, our boys been working hard. Them numbers are not easy to add up.
They're correct.
Listen, the best player for me at Man United at the moment is Fernandes. I mean, he's been a great example. Ronaldo there behind you there is a great example to him. You know, he's the man. He leads by example. He's Portuguese. He went to that club. Not telling me Bruno Fernandes never spoke to Cristiano Ronaldo before he went to Manchester United. He's turned out to be an icon up there already in a short space of time. I'm sure he was very instrumental in getting him back there as well. He would have picked up the phone and said, listen, can you come back? We need you. You could be the icing on the cake, and I think he possibly could.
Miguel, what's it like covering a story as big as this? Because we're talking about the most famous man in the world here, the most famous footballer forever that has been involved in one of the biggest transfers in history. You were on your laptop moments before you walked into this studio. I'm slightly worried that you're going to get the sack because you've not completed this story before coming on the telly.
I've got a bit of time for it.
He's got to get a job first before he gets sacked.
What's it like?
I mean...
Are you sweating a bit?
But bar the lack of sleep and the intense swing. I mean, basically, every time you think it's settled down a little bit, something whips up again. And in this week, it's just been sensational story after sensational story, culminating in this, which, ultimately, I suppose, but bar the actual football, which is what we're here for, it's what you get into the job for, to be covering these news stories. And it is exciting when you suddenly see... And I think what was most... So this morning, I was talking to someone, it was actually after Rio Ferdinand put out a cryptic tweet, hinting that something was afoot. And I got onto a few people that I know, to some of them that know Rio. And then that's when the kind of chatter started up, basically. United actually might be doing something here. And last night, everyone thought that this just wasn't going to happen. They had no interest. They didn't have the budget for it. But evidently, overnight, everything changed. They decided it was worth it. And then it's a case of it's that kind of almost the adrenaline rush of kind of chasing little leads here and there, the bits of detail. And yeah, it's fun.
Sounds fun, yeah.
Do you think the Glazers is a sweetener to the fans for the Super League debacle?
Oh, yeah, I think that's been part of it completely. I mean, I said it to you guys off air. Someone texted me before we came on. It's basically a gift from the Glazers to unhappy fans, to fans who have been disappointed at the investment. And let's not forget as well, bring the transfer as recently as last week. Obviously, in that time, Mendes has been trying to move him around, and last week even there were reports out of Spain from journalists that are very friendly with Mendes and Ronaldo that they were trying to make something happen with Madrid.
Do you think because they didn't want him, Manchester United, or just they didn't think it was possible?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, one of the things we haven't discussed yet, I suppose, is that as absolutely sensational as Ronaldo is, he is coming into a team where they don't really need him that much in terms of, because they've got so many forward options. And, it might stifle Greenwood slightly, although, as Owen says, Greenwood will no doubt learn from him. They've got Cavani there, who's in a similar sort of role. And there are still questions about the number 6. Not to want to put a dampener on United's party, but these are genuine questions, I think, which is why they didn't go in that strongly initially.
I think he's probably took his peg and put it somewhere else now, and Cristiano's just gone and put his number there. Be interested to see what number he actually wears.
That's
what was said to me today as well. I mean, they had Martial up front against Southampton. If Ronaldo was there at the weekend, they probably win that game.
Yeah.
Cavani has the number 7 shirt at the moment. What do you think happens there then?
I've never seen Cristiano wear a different shirt. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to wear a different one. And the thing is, as well, they've got Martial, they've got Cavani, they've got Rashford, they've got, Greenwood. They've got all these. They almost have too many. So maybe
Miguel's phone is going off live
Miguel's
on
phone's
set. He's
blowing up.
got one of those watches that rings.
Sorry about that.
It's all going off. It's fine. We know you're a busy man. Go on, Owen.
But I think obviously you might see somebody leave, and could it be Cavani? Could it be Martial? Whether you could see somebody go out, and the fact maybe that shirt becomes free. Cavani's been amazing for United, but Cristiano is Cristiano, so he'll probably want that number 7 shirt. I think Cavani will respect that. I'm guessing. And maybe he'll want to go play somewhere where he can play more regularly, because I can't imagine Cristiano sitting on the bench.
The one thing about that is that United have actually had a bit of difficulty offloading players this summer, which I think has created a bit of an issue in terms of, because Solskjaer still wants that defensive midfielder.
Every club's the same, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, like Martial, he'd be one they would willingly let go. Van de Beek, Dalot. Although it seems like Dalot, there might be some movement there. But they do need to create a little bit of space.
But the thing is, I think everybody's like buying and selling, but why can't they just swap players that don't fit? Just a straight swap. You think about Martial would be a great swap.
Yeah.
You think there'd be a lot of takers there, and you could get a world-class defensive midfield player for the talent of Martial.
It does seem to have been an issue in this window, like as Tim's saying, that I think just because of the nature of the market post-COVID and all that clubs are having difficulty getting rid of players on big contracts, basically, and finding the right move that the players are interested in.
How do you think, Tim, that he fits into this United side? Because as Owen's pointing out, he's not the sort of player that's going to be happy sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
But how many minutes is he going to get? Is he going to be used more for European games? Is he, Manchester United are in the Champions League this season?
Well, he's certainly a player for the big occasion, and they're going to have enough of them. I think they go deep in all the competitions. I mean, the big question is, where's he going to play? I mean, he's different Cristiano Ronaldo to Owen played with. He drifts off the left or off the right-hand side. He floats around. I think now he knows how to score goals. He knows he can sense where the ball's going to land. I think he needs to stay. They need someone who can stay as a 9. Someone can stay down the middle of the field, and I think he can do that. He's not a player who's going to, like a Cavani, who's going to hold the ball up. He want to come deep. He want to receive it. But once they've got that pace down the outside, behind the defence, he's always in the right place. He knows when to stand still. He knows when to move, and he certainly knows how to finish off both feet.
The thing is as well, I don't think he's played with some unbelievable teams. I don't think he will have a team this gifted in terms of creators. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Sancho. I mean, you've got balls coming from everywhere. That's what I mean. So I'm with Tim. I think he just stands in the box and he guarantees you goals. He guaranteed him last season at Juventus. He guarantees him with Portugal. With that service and Man United's defence and, everything that goes with it, the only position they need to figure out is defensive midfield. Because they can't play 2 holders when they have all these attackers, can they? Yeah. They can't leave 3 of those on the bench. So I think if they can go find a way to get a world-class defensive midfield player, United have the potential to win everything again.
Actually, just in terms of when you played with him, what was his actual movement like when he played ahead of you? Like how? Because I mean, he's probably seen as a little bit more stationary now, as Tim's saying.
But you think even back to when we played, when we had big games, Wayne Rooney would play on the left wing at times. So basically we would accommodate the fact that Cristiano maybe wouldn't track, the Dani Alveses of the world. So you'd find a solution there. Ollie's going to have to find a solution there. So in terms of Ronnie will stay at the top of the pitch, and then the other players are all going to have to do the work. We understood that. We used to talk about it. Everybody spoke about it. But because Ronaldo could win you the game, nobody had any issue with that. And if he gets United 40 goals this season, nobody's going to...
There's no one bigger than Cristiano Ronaldo. Not even the manager.
But I think also Cristiano's at a different phase now where I think he will welcome the fact that he can mentor these young guys and show them the way and show them the ropes. And I think when they watch him train day to day, they won't believe how dedicated this guy is. And everybody looks at his talent and thinks he's God-given. He works harder than his talent that he has, and that is a real talent. So Tim knows you can play, that's an important thing, but can you compete and are you dedicated? And you see that with Harry Kane and with Ronaldo. So I think what he's going to offer this team in terms of playing at the top of the pitch, but making the others, he'll drag them with him. Yeah. I think that's why he's leaving Juventus. He looks at that dressing room and thinks, I can't win with this. Yeah. I'm not going to win with this, and I want to win now. I'm 36, and with Messi going to PSG, it put a bit of pressure on the thing. Right, he could win the Champions League. I want to be in the mix as well.
Eric did a similar thing, didn't he, with the young group? When Cantona come, albeit he wasn't as old as Cristiano when he's coming back, but he's fit. He's fit and he's dedicated and he knows how to teach. I believe that. I think he's a good communicator, Cristiano. You know better than us, but then boys going to have to listen. Why wouldn't you listen? As Jules says, we're not talking about a very good player. We're talking about one of the best players ever.
I remember once, I didn't play one game and I was a bit disappointed. I was at the training ground and he saw me and it was only him and I, and he said to me, what's up? I said, I didn't come here to watch. I didn't come here to sit on the bench. He said, don't worry, Owen. He said, you're going to get your chance and we're going to smash it this year. And I remember looking at him thinking, everybody has a picture of Cristiano that he's not a team player, but he could feel that, that I needed somebody to have a chat with or whatever, and he was there, so...
And that was in the early stages of his career as
young,
well.
Yeah.
Did he already have an aura then?
He had an aura. I mean, this is a true story. So Ronaldo, that year, he wasn't the best player in the world, but he was going to be towards the end of the season. And I took a couple of free kicks once in a while because I used to get to take one here and there. He normally took them. And we practiced free kicks before the Champions League final. He was on one side, I was the other. And I hit 9 out of 10 in the top corner. And Van der Sar came to me and said, Owen, if we get a free kick, you've got to take it. In the final against Chelsea, I said, I can't take it. It's Cristiano. I can't take it off him. Anyway, didn't think anything of it. We get in the dressing room before the game, warming up. Everybody's about to go out. Cristiano walks over. Nobody around says, if we get a free kick, it's yours. There's a title at stake.
Did you get one?
No, we didn't get one. And he probably wouldn't have given it to me. But the point is, I remember thinking, people have this image of him that it's all about him. Yeah, and of course, it is slightly. But he ultimately, he doesn't have the success that he has without being a team player.
But he gave you the one against Arsenal, did he?
That was the only one I got. I think that's it.
Is that not part of the magic of Cristiano Ronaldo, though, that he does have that about him, that it is all about him?
Well, you don't get to where he did without being a team player. Football's a team sport, but I think Cristiano is driven to be the best. Like he said to me in his first year at United, I want to be the best player in the world. And he was that year. So you want him to be the best, but you need to fit in to be a team player. And I think Cristiano combines the talent with the dedication. And that's why Oli probably wants him in there, because he knows you won't get a better role model for these young guys. Because some of the young guys now, maybe they don't work as hard as some of those talented guys from that era. But when they see Cristiano at 36 working harder than them, it puts pressure on them to step up.
You hear about other players that sometimes in training maybe don't give it their all, but on match days they turn up and they can turn it on for the big games. Cristiano Ronaldo strikes me as the sort of player who will give 110% even in training. Every single time he's got his boots on, he gives 100%.
Yeah, I think he just wants to be the best. He wants to show everybody, you know, whether the camera's on or not, he wants to show everyone he's the best. He wants to show the coach, he wants to show his teammates. He doesn't want to be shown up, and he won't be shown up. So I think to bring that level at Manchester United now is going to be huge. And I think for Ole, you know, he couldn't have, it's almost as having coaching assistant. We saw what he did with Portugal, you know, when he went off injured and he was on the side and he was coaching everyone. I think Ronaldo is going to be a great mentor to these young guys.
What do you think his relationship with Solskjaer will be like? Because I suppose they played together briefly as well.
Yeah, and I think Ole was doing his coaching badges and he was kind of in and around that team that won the Champions League that year, you know, kind of watching and stuff. So they'll have a good relationship. But I think ultimately Ole knows that Cristiano's going to give him everything that he's got. And that's all he needs. And I think to have the influence he's going to have on the young guys, I think for Ole, it only improves Ole's position, and he's just got to make sure he picks him and not leave him on the bench.
Earlier on today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had his pre-weekend press conference. He spoke about the potential of Cristiano Ronaldo coming to Manchester United. This was prior to the deal being done. This is what he had to